that clearly there is a criminal investigation underway and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes.
And I remember, like, I don't know if you know what his voice sounds like, but like, I felt like I was in the presence of his monster.
Rumors are swirling, and they're more explosive than ever. Could it be true that Diddy Combs, one of the biggest names in music and entertainment, managed to escape from federal custody thanks to powerful connections? The whispers are growing louder by the day, and they paint a wild picture of secret deals, mysterious clones, and a prison break that sounds like something out of a movie. If you think you know everything about Diddy's recent troubles, you might want to think again, because this story is just getting started, and it's crazier than anyone could have imagined.
Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in
Diddy has been the center of attention for decades, from his IC music career and his business empire. But recently things have taken a darker turn. The rapper and mogul was arrested on charges that sent shockwaves through the industry. And since then, rumors about his fate have only gotten more bizarre. The biggest one, that Diddy didn't just sit in his cell waiting for the wheels of justice to turn. He made his escape, and not through any ordinary means. Instead, he's allegedly used his influence in deep connections within law enforcement to disappear. But that's not all. Some people even claim that the real Diddy hasn't been seen for months, and that a clone created to keep up appearances has been left behind in his place. Sounds wild, right? Well, buckle up, because we're diving head first into this wild conspiracy.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail.
It all started with Diddy's arrest earlier this year. The charges were serious enough to land him in federal custody. But what came next raised eyebrows even more. He was reportedly held in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, a notorious facility that's been called everything from a nightmare to hell on earth. If you've heard anything about this place, you'll know it's one of the most dangerous and poorly managed jails in the country. The conditions are so terrible that it's a wonder anyone survives their time there at all. For Diddy, who was used to living in the lap of luxury, this prison was the ultimate fall from grace. So what, according to rumors, the dire situation might have worked in his favor, helping to pave the way for his escape.
Housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting.
The Metropolitan Detention Center, or MDC Brooklyn, as is often called, is infamous for its extreme overcrowding, lack of Medicare, and brutal treatment of inmates. And things have only gotten worse in recent years, so there have been reports of inmates being stuck in lockdown for days on end, barely allowed out of their cells. Some have said the prison is falling apart. Mold rats, broken pipes, and freezing temperatures are just their tip of the iceberg. These conditions create a perfect storm of chaos. And it's no surprise that the facility has also seen a string of suspicious to misses in recent years. These aren't just tragic accidents, though some believe they're part of something far more sinister, a deliberate effort to get rid of certain inmates. Could Diddy have been one of those targets? The story we're tracking: music mogul Sean Diddy Combs on watch at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after 2 judges denied his request for bail. This, as a grand jury is expected to hear new testimony from workers very soon. The theory goes like this: as soon as Diddy was locked up in DC, Brooklyn, powerful enemies within the industry and even outside of it wanted him silenced. But instead of letting him rot in the cell, there was a more nefarious plan afoot, one that involved using the prison's horrendous conditions as a cover to eliminate him without raising too many questions. Inmates in that place have often been left without proper medical care for days, meaning that any number of accidents could happen. If someone wanted Diddy out of the picture, NDC Brooklyn would be the perfect place to make that happen. Had clients described NBC as hell as the worst conditions they've been in. But here's where the plot thickens. Instead of quietly suffering under those conditions, rumors suggest that Diddy used his vast resources and connections to make a bold move. According to these whispers, back in March, while everyone was focused on his legal battle, the real Diddy managed to slip out of the prison entirely. So to cover his tracks, a clone was left behind in his place. Now, if you're rolling your eyes, bear with us. This is where things get even stranger, and in this lawsuit, he claims that essentially P. Diddy was the Epstein of the rap industry, so the idea of celebrity clones might sound like pure science fiction. But in the world of conspiracy theories, it's not as far-fetched as you might think. With advances in AI and digital manipulation, some believe it's possible to create nearly perfect replicas of people, replicas so convincing that they could even fool the public, and if anyone has the money and connections to pull something like this off, it's Diddy. After all, he's no stranger to tech innovation. He's always been ahead of the curve when it comes to business, and his influence runs deep, not just in entertainment, but across multiple industries. So the theory goes that Diddy could have orchestrated a high-tech switch, replacing himself with an AI-generated clone, or even a lookalike who could play the part while the real Diddy slipped out of the country undetected. I saw it posted yesterday all over all social media pages. Cassie fought a lawsuit in New York City against Diddy. She's claiming she was stuck in a decade-long cycle of abuse. Of course, to pull off something like this, Diddy would need help from the inside, and that's where his alleged connections within law enforcement come into play. For years there have been whispers that Diddy has powerful friends in high places, people who could make things disappear, whether that's evidence, criminal charges, or even Diddy himself. In fact, some believe these connections go all the way to the top, with Diddy having ties to certain government agencies that have long protected him from facing the full brunt of the law. So the escape plan might not have been just about slipping out of prison. It could have been a well-coordinated operation involving multiple players all working together to keep Diddy safe and out of the public eye. Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal, or he was filming everybody. Right, that's the rumors. Yeah, I don't know that there's any proof or anything other than that. If that sounds like a stretch, consider this: Diddy's rise to fame wasn't without controversies. So he has been a polarizing figure, someone who's been able to navigate scandal after scandal while remaining at the top. From his involvement in the East Coast, West Coast, though we are a few to his brushes with the law in the 1990s and 2000s, Diddy has faced serious allegations before and always come out on top. Some say it's luck, others say it's his charm. But more than a few people believe there's something deeper going on, something that's allowed him to operate above the law for decades. And now, as his legal troubles pile up once again, those old suspicions are resurfacing. Now you've got the Diddy situation where he jumps on a private jet, they say yesterday, and is on his way to the Cape Verde Islands. The rumors about Diddy's escape are fueled by the very real horrors inside MDC Brooklyn. This prison is notorious for its lack of oversight and its ability to lose people in the system. So there have been multiple instances where inmates have simply vanished, either through clerical errors or under more suspicious circumstances. So the lack of transparency within the prison system makes it almost impossible to get a straight answer about what's going on inside those walls. And in Diddy's case, the silence has been deafening, that with all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers. And he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general correlation where everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone. So some sources claim that Diddy hasn't been seen in public for months, leading to speculation that the clone theory might not be so far-fetched after all. One popular version of the story suggests that Diddy duplicate has been making appearances on his behalf, while the real Diddy has been laying low, possibly overseas, waiting for the heat to settle down. Social media has been buzzing with comparisons of recent photos of Diddy, with some fans pointing out subtle differences in his appearance. His eyes looks like different, his face seems more robotic, and his overall demeanor has changed. Could this be evidence that we're seeing a clone instead of the real Diddy? Celebrities to politicians. So it's the kind of story that sounds like a thriller, but with Diddy anything seems possible, and the more people dig, the more they find to support these wild ideas. So at the end of the day, Diddy's story is one that captured the public's imagination. He's a man who's built an empire from nothing, only to find himself tangled in a web of rumors, conspiracies, and controversy. So whether he's an informant, a clone, or just a man with powerful friends, one thing for sure, that he's got everyone talking, and as long as he stays in the spotlight, the theories will keep coming, each one more bizarre than the last. So where does that leave us? Is Diddy a puppet master pulling strings from behind the scenes, or is he a victim of his own success, caught up in a whirlwind of scandals and accusations? And let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, and thanks for watching my video.